I came here to save you.
The fortress is taken.
It is over.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
You're my only hope.
We shall fight on the beaches.
There will be days when we lose faith.
We band of brothers.
But take heart. Look around. You're not in this fight alone.
I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Hey, everybody. This is KingsAdvisors. My name is Dan, and I'm joined by Caleb.
Howdy do.
And we are here to discuss National Treasure, The Edge of History, the Disney Plus streaming show, Episode 5. And we'll also be releasing our Episode 6 review as well.
Nicely done.
So, where to even begin? I know that I had to catch up with Episode 5 and 6, which is why there was
Well,
no
I'll tell you, the
week.
best place to begin is probably at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, but just like literally the name of the episode is Bad Romance. And so
Yeah.
it's like it's like the first impression of the show is bad. Like I looked at the next episode and I was like, Bad Romance. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So this is the drama episode, right? I was like, oh, geez. Like it's not about the treasure or anything really in this episode. I don't know. Do you want to do general thoughts and then we move into kind of our scene by scene analysis?
Let's see. My general thought is that when I watched this 5, yeah. So like I said in the last video, when I watched episode 4, I thought, okay, you know what? This was never going to be as good as the movies, but maybe there's a chance they're actually getting into what should have been the storyline for the movie instead. Maybe this is going to be fine. I was wrong. Do you know how hard it is for me to admit I was wrong? I have sweatshirts that I wore in high school that said I was right.
I don't think I've ever heard you say you were wrong.
Yeah, not many people have.
You've been wrong, but I don't think I've ever heard you say it.
Yes, let's say that. Yeah. And boy, was I wrong, because this episode, I think I gave episode 4 of 5. This is nosedive to probably a 2.5 to a 3.
Wow, that low. Yeah. Well,
and I'll tell you, if they replace Catherine Zeta-Jones with someone that can actually move their face, the show might just take a 1 point bump all around.
And you know, the problem is she's the best part of the show in some parts of it. Like she is such a professional, regal actress that you can see where they needed somebody like her who could still move their face. The problem is when you have these like elite, powerful 50-something-year-old women, they all look the same. That's the style of powerful.
There's no uniqueness to that character.
Yeah, like who would even have the gall to go out and try a role like this in their genuine self? Like I can't even think of an actress who could pull this role off and yet still look unique.
I think Jennifer Aniston kind of pulled that role off in that Apple TV show. I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either, and but I feel like you'd have to you'd never get Jennifer Aniston in a National Treasure show.
No.
And she would still have to basically be playing Jennifer Aniston in the show.
Exactly, yeah.
So she'd be way too likable for like a real bad person. Not a gray character, but like just the bad guy. Which we'll get into. We'll get into if they're bad guys. You know what I mean? I don't even know. So I gave this episode, I thought this was as fine as episode 3. It wasn't as bad as episode 4. 4
so
was just
what is that for you? Is that a 4?
Episode 3, where they go to Graceland, was actually kind of fun. I gave it a 3 out of 10 because he had those quick, snappy performances when they were kind of improvising their way through. The guy had his music moments. They were tech people. Orin was a distraction. I could see all the elements there. Was it executed the best? No, but I was like more enjoying it. Whereas like in this Governor's Mansion episode, I was like, this is just kind of becoming the same sneak around these historical sites and no one really has a plan. And I wrote this down later, that nobody here is a thief. Nobody here is like a criminal who like is hungry and can break the law. Like all these people are just like your average person you plucked off the street who would, the first thing they would think of if they had to rob a place is what these people think of.
Yeah, there's no
You know what I mean? There's no like quick hands. There's no guy who's like, hey, I scoped out the security guards. They go out on break at these times. That guy's a smoker. This guy's got a wife that just left it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's no Ian Howe. There's none of that.
Yeah, there's no. And even the villain is tracking him like the CIA would track people. So it's like, okay, well, this isn't even like, you don't even have that seedy treasure hunting vibe. Like, think about some of the treasure hunters who are like desperate men who have no other means of securing their fortune. You know, like all their other
was so good in that movie. Not to completely cut you off, but I'm just thinking about Sean
totally
Bean's character.
Totally underused.
Oh
but
my god!
Point being that this episode I gave a 4 out of 10. I thought it was better than the last episode 4, but it was still just a bad. Like it was just meh. You know, maybe I should have even rated this like a 3.5. I think I was being generous after seeing episode 6.
Yeah.
But
you mean 4?
No, episode 6 because I had to go. I forgot to rate this one until I finished the other one, so I went back and rated.
Okay. Yeah. So we open up on her jet, which so there's something wrong looking about her jet. I can't
actually just to back you up at one point. There was one point in the recap where Jess is just like staring at the person, but she just like looks so angry, right? I wish I had taken a screenshot of it, but I watched it on my TV instead of my PC or my laptop. I wrote this down. I was like, she looks like someone who would be mad that like you owned a taco shop. Like she would be like, wow, I can't believe these 2 people opened a taco shop. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if they weren't Hispanic. Like that's just the vitriol she had in her face. Like she just looks so angry. And I hate to say this because she's actually a really pretty actress that comes out in one of these scenes where she's dancing. You're like, oh, she's really talented and she's pretty. She's not that good at acting. You know what I mean? But like they do not do her justice by having her scowl so much in this show.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm not. I said this a long time ago on some video. I'm not going to say, oh, you should smile more, but you don't need to be angry all the time.
Yeah, and maybe I should have. Maybe the recap was an emotional scene. I don't really remember it. I think it was when she found out there was a. Maybe it's when she found out there was a mole, so it was emotional. But like,
I'm looking at it
I feel
right
like
now.
she's scowling a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I said. That's what I got. But you're right. So scene 1, they're on their nice plane, and I thought the guy was super annoying.
Yeah, well, so they've replaced the guy that died with this
with his little brother.
Oh yeah, sure. It reminds me of the brother of the bad guy in John Wick 1. The one we see at the beginning of John Wick 2.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I say I have bad acting to the extreme. She's no match for my tech. I put that line in there. I don't know if you remember that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I don't think
I liked why the thing he said that wound up being wrong. I thought it was really cool that apparently on Chichen Itza, when the sun is on a certain day, it sets at a certain time, the shadow cast on the stairs is a serpent. I didn't know that.
I agree. I thought that was super cool. Like that should have been. Although, unfortunately, as the audience, we know that they're wrong because our team has already figured it out. You know what I mean? Like we know that the Malinche is not the correct route, so we know that the Sacagawea is, and they don't know that yet.
Exactly.
It's only when they realize they go to the governor's mansion do they put all the Merriweather and Clark, Lewis and Clark stuff together. You know what I mean? To figure that out. But it wasn't until then. So, there was no tension there for us. We were just like, all right, well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Well, and the other big problem about this is, let's rewind to the first National Treasure movie for a second. When he's cut his thumb, he's spread on the meerschaum pipe, and he's rolling out the thing. He's reciting the riddle over and over to try to see what makes sense, and that is actually how some people solve their riddles. One of the things that annoys me on this though is we've got Catherine Zeta-Jones' character Billy. That's her name, Billy. She's sitting there listening to what her tech guy is saying about the serpent on Chichen Itza. And she's like, oh, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you're wrong, because I think that the thing is actually that the Elvis clue is talking about TALE tail, not TAIL tail. It's not written down anywhere. There's no there's no eureka moment. She spent this whole time watching her team work on this and hasn't been like, hey, what if it's like a tall tail instead of
I mean,
like a
isn't that the point of
tail?
a team, right? Like, I agree with you. Like, isn't that the point of the team, is to be like, hey guys, what if it's like this? And everyone's like, oh, that's a really good point. Like, let's think about that. Like, you don't like hold on to it and be like, actually, I think it's this.
Yeah, just
it's like, oh my God,
smarter.
so drama. Yeah, it's so much
That's
drama.
You usually learn
just to make the guy look stupid. Let's be honest. Like, it's just to make the guy look stupid.
Exactly. You usually get away from that in like third grade.
Well, that and like, it's like this is your team. Like, why are you like hindering and laughing at them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not just share that you don't think that it's TAIL, but it's TALE? And it's like, it's not a big plane. It's not like she's in her bedroom and they're working on it for an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just cringy. It was just cringy. So I don't think the guy's long for the world. In all capital letters, this is a bad scene.
Yes.
Scene 2, they're doing the mole hunt and they're going to go to the mansion. They're going to go to the governor's mansion. Scene 3 is an auction. Probably the cringiest black market auction.
Look, I've seen black market auctions on different TV shows and movies.
Yeah,
and they are done so much better than this.
Oh, I know. Have you ever? It's like, this is a long. It's not even probably what they were going for here, because
I recognize half those heads from the wake. That's probably what happened. They probably filmed the wake, and then they said, "Okay, everyone. Okay, let's see what you're wearing. Okay, let's remove your tie. Hey, take your hat off. Okay, make sure all the Masons take their regalia off. Okay, you're all fine. And now come sit in this weird, very badly lit room and pretend you're in an auction."
Yes, and I have written down here that people in the black market always wear all black.
Yeah, and something I did not notice.
Well, hold on, I'm almost done. And
good.
they love to be identified as having been a member of said black market, because she walks in, she goes, "Oh, black market auction, huh?" Like, everybody there would be like, "Kill this woman. Like, nobody can know about this. We're all committing illegal activities." And then I have this really funny part where it's just like, it feels like a Monty Python sketch is about to start, where it's like, a tall English fellow in the back is gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know this was illegal. I'll see myself out." You know what I mean? Like, kind of taking his out of getting out.
Yeah. Also, isn't that like the extremely famous portrait of Lorenzo de Medici sitting up there? That is like one of the most tracked paintings by Botticelli ever done.
I mean, probably. This stuff.
Everyone knows where the original is.
The original's a fake, though.
Yeah.
That's a different episode, Caleb. That's Italian national treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So yeah, we've got.
She's like, oh wait, hold on. We got to talk about their negotiation scene where
Oh
she's
dear.
like, give me the codex. He's like, that doesn't exist. She's like, I know you have it. He's like, okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So bad, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, all
that?
because she's got a mosaic from Caligula's sail barge.
I would think it would be nasty. Take a black light to that thing.
Oh geez.
That's what I thought when she said don't touch it. It was Caligula's. I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't touch it either.
Yeah.
2,000 years could pass. I wouldn't touch that thing.
I love how when they're examining the book, the page that she would be interested in is the one that's bookmarked.
I noticed that immediately. Immediately, I saw that it was like right on the page that he needed to show her. Also, I have that scene as. Are we there yet? Oh well, we skipped a scene where it was the intro. I said I wish the show was as good as the intro music. Then scene 5 is.
We're not even at the intro music yet.
Wait, she doesn't go and talk to the professor yet.
No, Billy is still at the auction taking the book.
Yeah. But I thought you meant when she goes to see the professor with the page. Sorry.
No.
When she goes to see the auctioneer, it's right on the page.
Yeah. Now, going to the professor and having the page bookmarked makes sense.
We'll get to the meeting that should have been an email.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so there's the music. She gets the book.
Which is still the best part of the show.
It's still the best part of the show. I actually thought about like how you could take out that annoying part in the middle. Because it's not bad. It's just like that other music is good. Like you could build a franchise behind that music. Like
yeah.
Like you're like, oh man, I want to go hunt for some treasure listening to this. Bum, bum, bum. You're like perseverance, pioneering.
Don't say pioneer.
Oh, is that a bad word now?
Yeah, it is. It's a colonial word.
Is that a bad word now?
Yeah, you'll be canceled.
I
don't know. I just assume it is. It's a word.
You know what? Let's cancel it ourselves. So that
in school, one of the things pioneers was synonymous with colonialism.
That used to be a career.
Yeah, I miss it. It was a fun job.
What?
Being a pioneer.
I wouldn't call it fun. I would say it was a job.
All right, so here we are, the next scene after the credits, and we've got Ethan and Jess cruising around Baton Rouge in what I can only imagine. Let me see if I can see it. Okay, it's late model. I think it's a European car. But see, this is the thing that just keeps getting with me. So we spend the first 2 episodes of this series hearing she's got money problems. We've seen her at work twice.
You talking about the scene where she's in the car with
yeah. And it's like, look, this is supposed to be your oldest friend. Y'all aren't dating. Why aren't you living with him? Like not as a relationship at all.
How does he have money? Is he wealthy? Like, is his family wealthy?
I think the assumption is supposed to be that he's Asian in America. Of course, he's wealthy.
I didn't assume that.
That is racist.
Yeah, well, I didn't assume that. Just to let you know.
Yeah, I think that's what the assumption is supposed to be.
Are they all rich except her? Like, is he rich and Orton's rich and Tosh
no?
Rich?
So
they're all childhood friends. They all went to high school together.
So as it looks like to me that she and Tasha are surviving that Oren is probably. I assume Oren's got family money or something because I don't ever see. Yeah, okay, here it is. Ethan's driving an Audi, a late
I
model
wrote.
Audi.
I wrote that down. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. Look, I just the economics of these friendships don't make any sense.
also just to get into that. If we're gonna dive into it, she's a liar. She lies straight to Ethan's face. She goes, tells she's a bad detective, so she's like, of all like, when you're in a mole hunt, you have to put out different information to different people so you figure out
Exactly,
when
yeah.
gets out there who is the
Mhm.
hunter. Well, she just goes out and tells him. He's like, oh, there's a mole. Like, so if Ethan was the mole, he would have been tipped off and would have be like, oh, she knows. Now how do I play this now? I'll turn her on other people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well,
so
and
she's not good at that.
that's what's stupid is so the actor that plays Ethan has a mole on his face. And
That's hilarious.
I could see some Disney writer thinking, oh, you
We
know,
can't
be a
make him
really
the mole
cool
now.
thing. No, or say being like, we should make him the mole, and then like it'll be like, oh my gosh, do you see this? It's like it's the same thing with the people that think Bran obviously was going to wind up being king because the first chapter is from Bran's point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people, but I also think it's going to be better in the book. So it is about Bran. The whole story is about Bran. He's the first POV chapter.
I mean, it's not, but okay.
I mean,
we'll talk about that later.
We'll get a different Game of Thrones stream going.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But and she also, so she lies straight to him. She's like, "Oh, I don't suspect Liam," but she immediately suspected Liam. So why would she
off the bat?
Right. Yeah. And then, but he's like also suspects it off the bat. Like, wouldn't she take comfort in that? Be like, you suspected him right off the bat too. And he'd be like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I have your back, Jess. Like, I suspect everybody who could do you harm.
The other issue with this show is, and we get it, we really see it right here when they go the governor's mansion. Who is her partner? Like, we knew who Ben Gates' partner was. It was Riley Poole. It was Ben Gates and Riley Poole. That was the team. Abigail wasn't really the partner. She was just kind of along for the ride.
She got picked up along the way.
Yeah.
A hostage in some people's view.
Yeah. But she's out here, and the issue with doing this kind of thing is, now imagine, let's see. Okay, imagine that there's an important clue with how this book is set up. Like the people that give these kind of things, like museums, they would have instructions for how you're allowed to display the book.
Oh, sure.
Museums receive instruction on how what they're allowed to do with artifacts, usually from wills of their owners.
That, and there's a whole career about it.
Yeah.
They're curators.
And so the issue with having, 3 or 4 different partners in this thing is she shows up here with Ethan. Okay, well, what if the next thing is important about how the thing was displayed? She's hanging out with Tasha. Well, Tasha doesn't know what it looked like when it was displayed. So she's got to remember everything.
She's the hub, and they're all her tools.
It's just bad teamwork.
Yeah, and like, I agree. So it's like we're doing the sneaking thing again. Journal's not on display. Liam's suddenly just not in the group. Like, I thought they were just like all attached to the hip over this. And now he's like, I'm just going to go out by myself and do this. Which, I know because he wanted to get it done and he was excited to get back to her. But at the same time, it was like, what's going on here? Why are we doing this? Why, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we have the stupid little, it's open for the public for $500. It's like, sounds like the opposite of $500. I cannot imagine many people that would want to go to this thing that don't have $500. $500 isn't that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money to spend
it's a lot
on
of money
something
if it's a
that's
lot of
only
money
in the
if
evening.
yeah. Yes, it is. So let me walk that back a bit. It is a lot of money if for the majority of the population of this country and probably the world. But I would say the majority of the population of this planet would not want to go to this event.
Yeah, I would agree that like it would not be something that I'd want.
I have $500 to do something like that, and I don't want to go to that thing. That sounds like one of the most boring things you could go to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you viewed it as like an investment, or I hate to say it, but if you're in that circle, that social circle, like some people would probably feel like obligated to go. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't.
True.
That's not
Yeah.
part of this I really care about. Is like people.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being open to the public, though, I don't really buy that they can just, I'll just grab a couple tickets. It's tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, no,
yes. Yeah. This thing is sold out.
Yeah, it's sold out, or it's already, the RSVP is passed. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's the realistic thing I'm thinking. But she just tells the tech girl and the Asian and Ethan, Tasha and Ethan, like she's like, oh, there's a mole, and it's like we think it's Liam, but we don't know, and it's like, why are you just saying this? You don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the scene 7, like she just casually commits like a crime. She's like, I was fishing, and it's like, that's not okay.
This isn't just a crime. This is a felony.
This is a felony.
This is like 20 years in federal prison.
It is not cute. It's not. Oh, I had to just check his bank account. It's like, no,
it's not. I hacked his Facebook page. This is his bank account
through phishing. Through fraud.
This is cybercrime. This is federal. Yeah, there's so many problems with this, and they're playing it off like, cute. Oh, it's cool. It's fine. I'm just quirky like that.
They thought it was so cute. She's like, oh, you know me, I just can't help myself. And it's like, how many lives have you ruined?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, y'all don't need a job. You can just fish people.
Not even that, but she's just like, she acts like she can just like on a whim do it. Like if like somebody doesn't give her the right coffee, I'm going to fish you. You know what I mean? If which I realized I wrote down this later. I guess that was episode 6, but it's just like Ethan just brings coffee to people. That's his only job. That's how he affords Audi gas. All right. Scene 8. She's serving in the bar, so it's like you wouldn't wear that.
She's at work now.
Nobody would wear that.
Let's see. I just saw that. I don't know. I feel like I've had a bartender that kind of looked like that. Jeans and just some sort of top.
I don't know, man. I've been working in bars for
my entire life. You've been doing it more than I have, definitely.
CD bars like that, you wear just like a black shirt.
True. That's also true.
You don't wear a cute sweater where the guy at the next table looks like he could genuinely throw up whiskey and peanuts on you.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of bar she worked in. Like she's like, oh, I'm down to earth. Like I work at a seedy bar. You know, it's like this is a dangerous bar. I can tell just from the short scene I'm in. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, and bars are dangerous places a lot of times.
Yeah,
they're not like they're so clean in movies, but like sometimes you get people who are not good people that hang out in some bars. But that's all I'll say. Also, that doesn't seem like the kind of bar where there's like a waitress service. Like it's like you go up to the counter and you grab a table because there's like I saw there was live music right there. So it's not like they're really serving food. And I thought maybe for all the food and bev people out there who's like, Dan, you're wrong. Waitresses can do service like that. I said maybe she could be a waitress right there, but they should have incorporated some like checking on our tables or she cleaned up
'cause
tables,
when
but
she
that's just like
gets-
a busser's job.
Yeah, when she gets the job, she does it by like showing there are people sitting here that they don't have their food, they're waiting on their check, which is I've never done food and bev beyond like bartending certain events, but that's like to me normal waitressing stuff. So I assume she is a waitress, but then you see this job and it's like, okay, well, it looks like she's just a busboy. So
It looks like she's just a busser. Yeah, that's all my point was. And bussers would never wear that.
yeah, no, I agree on that one 100%.
Those guys are in the dish pit. They never wear that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So then that's pretty much all I got. So never mind. Scene 8 continued. Liam immediately tells her everything he knows. Hey, it's good to see you again. What happened? Okay, well, here's everything I know. Where she can't do the same thing that she even did to the other people. It's like, hey, I actually found out there's a mole. I got to kind of keep you at arm's length. You know what I mean? Like that would have even explained it. But it's like, why the drama of just like, oh, hey, and then she does tell him about it. She does like tell him that she suspects him, only him, of being a mole. So it's like, well, this isn't helpful. Like, why are you doing this? But I did think that the line, and this is when I started to like Liam, because he's just like, shouldn't be in treasure hunting because of his grandpa, but then he gets into it because of this girl, and now the girl's gonna kind of ice him. He goes, this is what treasure hunting does to people. It makes them paranoid.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's actually some good character work there because he was tired of seeing his grandpa like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I fast forwarded just a bit to the next scene when they're back on the plane. And the second-rate tech guy is looking at his laptop. He opens a file on the webpage called Targets. And one of them is literally listed as mole.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't know if you were going to bring it up, but there's also, don't you love how there's also, well, I guess we'll get there. We're like literally 2 scenes away, but we'll go back to that. Let's go back.
Are we 2 scenes away? We're on this is the very next scene.
I have 2 scenes between that. There's the FBI scene.
No. FBI
There's an
scene
FBI
is after.
After the translation scene? No, they don't find out.
Bro, the translation is 2 scenes away.
Dude, I wrote it down in order of the watching it.
Yeah, clearly not. Because I'm looking at it right now.
They go back to the translation scene. You're skipping too far ahead.
No, I'm not.
Dude, there are 2 scenes.
It goes from Jess in the apartment to Jess working to them on the plane for like 4 seconds.
For like 4 seconds. Tech guy on plane, and then scene 10,
and then
FBI
with the coroner.
FBI with the coroner.
And then Billy at
the school.
The professor, yeah.
So that's 2 scenes.
Yeah. So the thing we're talking about, the thing that I'm talking about right now is where we are after the bar scene.
Yes. So tech guy on plane.
Yes.
Right. So 2 scenes later. So 1, 2, and then the next scene. Yeah, we're talking about the same thing. We're on the same thing.
So on the
2
plane
scenes between that. Yeah. So on the plane, got a file named Mole.
Yeah. And what's so weird is that they are 903.35 miles away from the mole, who's in Baton Rouge. Derek Fredrickson is in New Orleans, and they are 80.2 miles away from him.
Oh, so it's just an error.
Yeah, so unless the mole also they are 2,300 miles away from someone in Ecuador and 2,100 miles away from someone in Vancouver. And I just don't think any of that math works.
Well, it does, because you're forgetting that they are in the Springfield airport.
Which Springfield?
Springfield from The Simpsons.
Yeah, well, right, but there's a reason that no one knows what Springfield it is.
That's the joke. It's like that's the only way you could be near all these places with these distances, is if you're in Springfield.
Yeah.
You didn't get my joke.
No, I did. I tried to explain it and killed the joke.
Well, what are you gonna do? FBI lady is bad. She is the worst part of the show. I can't stand her acting. I don't like this plot. I don't care about this plot. I don't like her. I don't like the coroner, the creepy coroner who should be working instead of flirting all the time. You're also your class. Oh my God.
You know that this has to be at night because the lights are turned down. It's dark in there.
I mean, it's just so unpleasing. Like, you're the top of your class. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I was. Me and Jess were both the tops, and then Billy's gonna find it. We're gonna find out Billy was the top of her class, and then Tosh was the top of her class, and she settled because of a man. Anyway, now we're on to the professor scene, which is like could have been an email. Am I wrong here?
No, it definitely could have. I will tell you though.
What is the scene?
So there's two. I was going to say that the best part of the show so far has been how realistic this professor's office looks. But then I realized that this professor's office is through two double doors off of a hallway and not like a faculty area. And I'm like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, maybe he's distinguished, but I won't look too far into that. It was nice to see it like messy and covered and stuff.
Yeah.
That guy, that looks like he could be in the front of a treasure hunting show.
Yeah.
He looks like he would be the guy who's like the historian by day and the treasure hunter by night. I would have bought that. Like I think it's just like that would have been cooler, maybe as a Central American or Mexican historian looking for something like that. I would have that probably would have been fine. Looking for El Dorado. Oh my God, maybe that would have been a really cool National Treasure show. Damn, now I'm talking myself into it with that music.
El Dorado is the Lost City of Gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what the second movie is.
No, wasn't that in was that El Dorado all the way up in the Black Hills when they went up there?
I thought that's what the point was supposed to be, that the stories we know of El Dorado were like the lies to keep it safe.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, because the first one's kind of like a secret Mason treasure, the Templar treasure, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one is El Dorado? I thought it was more like an American treasure, but I guess
I just kind of assumed it was El Dorado.
Maybe we should watch that again.
Let us know if we're wrong about that and it wasn't El Dorado. I always assumed it was.
Yeah, I guess it could be, and no matter what, it could always be interpreted like that, right? You know what I mean? I guess I just thought it wasn't just like Mesoamerican artifacts in that discovery. I guess I'd always thought there were more than that, but we don't have to divulge in it too much. But let's see, translation email with device. Okay, so here it is, the big mole reveal. Are you ready? I think you should do it because I was wrong. I'll be the first one to say it here. They missed the opportunity. It sucks. This is the worst mole reveal I've ever heard of. Stupid plan, stupid idea, stupid execution, stupid reveal. Hey, Caleb, who's the mole?
Oren is the mole. Well, Orange Shoe is the mole. If you recall, so the only redeeming aspect of this is that it is a thing that happened multiple episodes ago that has quote unquote paid off. So the only like good check mark, any type of gold star you want to give to this is you did something multiple episodes ago and there's a callback and it is a reasonable payoff. But everything else is dumb as hell about it.
So dumb. So he's like a sneakerhead, right? He like reviews shoes online. He likes shoes.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say though is I don't know sneakerheads that wear those sneakers.
I was just gonna say they don't wear the rare ones.
Yeah.
They display. They're just like any other collector. Yeah,
and see, the thing is,
they wear.
So she would have had to know, Billy, back in the second episode, would have had to know which shoes he's going to pick. So
every day.
he would, yeah. So she would, unless she chipped every single shoe,
which would have made way more sense. All the shoes are bugged. That would have made way more sense.
yeah.
That would have showed she's ruthless. She's gotten in, like, that would have been just, wow, that's scary. Instead, it's just 1 foot of one shoe that she just hopes that he's wearing, which he was wearing at all the critical moments.
Exactly. Yeah.
So stupid.
And also on sneakerheads, even if they do wear those shoes, they don't wear the same pair every day.
Never. Unless they're on vacation. And then they're like, that goes with their outfit every day.
Yeah.
So stupid. And yet it's so funny because they're showing this reveal of like, oh, here's the mole. And now we can go back to the scene where it's like the mole file doesn't make any sense because it's not a mole, it's just a bug.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no mole. There's nobody on the inside feeding you information. So that doesn't make any sense. And so anyway, so now it's like you have these simultaneous scenes of like, oh, she's so ruthless. She bugged his shoe. Remember that shoe from the couple episodes? By the way, she's stupid and flew to a professor's office rather than pick up the phone in the same two scenes. Because he reveals the next scene, no, actually, you're wrong. Like, you're wrong. Right here is the proof I have. Right at my fingertips, I can prove that you're wrong instantly to where you'll throw this in the trash. What if he was lying? What if that wasn't even, what if this is like, there's my Decor Cortez book?
Yeah. Or what if this guy is one of the treasure protectors? And
what if he's lying
he's just like,
to you?
Oh crap. She's found the key. Oh no, it's not real. No,
Secret Jedi
this
text.
is why you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
The text.
So then it's like, yeah, so she's stupid. She's stupid. Then she goes to talk to Liam, and because she realizes that it was Orange shoe all along, right? And I love how she just like walks right in. Like a neighborhood like this would have a gated community.
Well, that's the thing. Orange just walks right into their apartment.
Well, that at least makes sense. Like they're friends.
Bro, if I show up to your place, I'm knocking.
Oh yeah, I mean that. But like, if you and I were in the same neighborhood for years and years and grew up together and had tons of pictures together, I wouldn't care if you did either one. You'd probably have the code to my door. But what I'm saying
that's
is,
11111, right?
Yeah, 11111 at 11111 way. And that last one is spelled WUN for all Game of Thrones fans out there. That's a deep reference there. So I have oh yes, come right in. Like, just come on in, right? I didn't answer the door, so that always means that the door is going to be unlocked and left for you to come find me brooding with my guitar. I was wrong.
Right. I forgot about this scene. This is the Jess is a victim scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was like the dumbest. This was the lowest hanging fruit. I think this was embarrassing for them, quite frankly.
Yes. Yeah. Like, look. No, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
No, I'll say it. This isn't the 60s. All right. I grew up in Catholic school. There were tons of Hispanic students. There were students who couldn't speak English, and it's just something we grew up with. I grew up in the 90s. We were well past this kind of behavior, even then. And to think that, like, she's what?
And what state was that?
That was New Jersey. So,
oh shit, I thought it was Georgia. Never mind.
No. Well, even in Georgia, it was like even more understood. There were more Hispanics in Georgia. Like, I went to school with more Hispanics in a secular school than I did in Catholic school, and it was just as common. There's nothing that outlines about that. And if anybody felt like they were getting searched, it's probably because they had a little history. Like that's what these schools do. They're going to find the people who. They're not just going to grab the honor roll student and slam her up against the locker and scream at her that she's going to get deported if they don't
But
her bag.
But don't forget, that's just how it is.
I was disappointed. I was like,
that's her actual line. Liam says something like, how is that possible or something like that. She just goes, that's just how it is. And then she goes into her whole, whenever something was stolen at school, whose backpack do you think they checked first?
Yeah, why would
This
they
is
waste their
this is the
time?
line. This is the line. The scholarship kid with the last name no one could pronounce.
That's exactly what she said. I was so
Yeah.
disappointed.
How?
I was like, why would they ever check you more than, I don't know, your first day? Like, it's like, okay, well, she's on the honor roll and like she's never stolen anything. So why would we waste our time with checking her every time? They're like, oh, every time we checked her, and it was like, well, don't you think after the first like 4 times you probably didn't need to check her anymore? Because it's obviously not her.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cringe, and then the kiss was cringe.
Yeah.
I was like,
how
oh
hard
my
is Valenzuela?
Valenzuela?
That's her last name, Valenzuela.
I mean, that's not very hard at all. I'm sure
Yeah.
most people can say Venezuela, and it's just a very small difference from there. That's not even a word like that even in the South you hear people pronounce incorrectly. Like it's too unique of a word to be like, oh, is that there Venezuela? Like you don't even hear that. Like it's like, oh, Venezuela, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Also on that last name's very on the head, don't you think?
Valenzuela, yeah, but I also like, why would she have a name so? I don't know. I guess I'd have to look up the history of the word Venezuela. But I thought she was Mexican. Or is she not? Is it Aztec? She's like Aztec.
I thought she's supposed to be Mexican. That's what I thought.
Because Mexico and Venezuela are different places.
Yes, they are.
With very different histories.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also love that she also later in the scene, she's like talking about like how much she loves the Mexico national team, and you know, like she loves being Mexican, right? And it's like, you know, Mexico was also like founded by white colonizers. They were just Spanish, and like they declared independence from their European overlords and like settled their land
and spent another 150 years fighting like 13 different revolutions.
It was not even that. Like I don't care. Like everyone, like all nations have their history. I'm just saying, like the United States and Mexico are eerily similar to each other in terms of their values and what they found to be abhorrent about the time period in which they declared their independence.
And
like,
and their histories are, hang on. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
That's all right. I did the same thing earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can go into that later.
And their histories until about 50 years ago are very similar.
Yeah, very similar. And I just think it does a disservice to the message of this show. It's like when we were in law school, we'd get these emails, and it was like celebrating how the Cinco de Mayo is this like indigenous peoples day where they like cast away their European colonizers, and like that really isn't correct.
It's
like,
not even half.
It's not even close. Like it's like, so you know how George Washington was like born in Virginia? It'd be like calling him indigenous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's like Cinco de Mayo is not this like, oh, the day we cast off our European slavers day. It's a day where white people from Europe came to fight really, 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 really light-skinned Mexican elites in Mexico who were not the natives to the land, in the same way that the British came and fought us in 1812. If we had won in that time, we would have a similar holiday to Cinco de Mayo, but it wouldn't be the indigenous people of America celebrating a victory over Europe. It would be Europeans in America celebrating victory over other Europeans.
Yeah.
Does that point become clear when I mean they're actually doing a disservice to the history by making it seem more plain than it is?
Yeah. Isn't there a celebration in Louisiana for the Battle of New Orleans? Or am I wrong about that?
I mean, there's been a few battles in New Orleans.
I'm talking about the one where Old Hickory came down and kicked butt with like a quarter of what Britain had down there.
Yeah, I mean that was 1812. That was that's his claim to fame and won him the presidency. So, I wouldn't be surprised. I know that New Orleans also had battles during the Revolutionary War, and it was also hugely contested during the Civil War as well. So, I'm not really sure of New Orleans' role. I'm sure it was a big role in the Mexican-American War, being the biggest port right there. I mean, New Orleans at one point was almost the capital of this country. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because of its access to the Gulf and the Mississippi. So it was just as favorable as New York at the time. But we're let's get back to
let's get back to the important stuff here.
Cringy kiss. Yeah, okay. Scene 15. Catherine Zeta-Jones is super cringy. Ralphio Rios is in my opinion is maybe Salazar. No, he's dead. Never mind. Sorry. I have something different written here. Oh yeah. So much technology and information about them, right? That she has on them, right? But she just had no idea about her necklace that she wears all the time.
Exactly.
And they got the clue.
And only started hiding it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. She figured out the clue. Like she got it from the necklace and find out they're going to the governor's mansion. So it's like what? Okay, all right, cool. Let's keep going here. They come into the house and they're like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And then they all decide we're all going to go to the ball. That's it. We're all going to the ball now.
Also, button up your shirt. Oh, he is okay. Oren's wearing like a flesh-colored shirt underneath his fancy shirt, so I thought she's just sitting in this house where all the guys are just walking around without the shirts on.
I mean, that's not a good
and
way
also
to
when you tailor a jacket, don't you leave the shirt on so you see how much room is needed with the shirt on?
I mean, I've never ever taken a shirt off to do a jacket fitting, and I've done it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what the hell that was. So
this is to have a moment.
I genuinely thought they were going to do. You watch Ted Lasso?
No, not yet.
It's pretty funny.
It's on my list.
Funny, but season 2 is not as good as season 1. But there's a part where one of the footballers, who's like, well, literally one of the best in the world. He's like real attractive, and everybody loves him. And so he goes to a black tie event with just the sports coat on, with no shirt on underneath. And like he's cut, so it's fine. But like it's totally inappropriate because it's like, everybody else is wearing black tie stuff, and he's just like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm Jamie Todd. It's really funny. So I thought they were literally going to do the same thing here. It's like, is this guy going to just go with no shirt on?
Yeah.
But then they put a shirt on him for some reason, which is good. I mean, I was glad to put a shirt on him, but it was just like, okay, why did they even have the shirt off of him? All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, we already saw him in the outfit. He didn't look any different. Was that me?
Yeah, I didn't think the jacket looked different at all.
I didn't think anything looked different at all. I mean, I guess if they're like, oh, let's put a baggy one on him, and then we'll put a tailored one on him, and it's like, okay, well, I didn't notice, and I wear nice clothes all the time, so if I didn't notice, I don't know if anybody really did either. Go to the FBI. Oh, the English U did kill him. FBI lady's acting is bad. His is so bad too. They go to the USS Kid. She figures it out. Okay. That's it for her for the episode. So there's no conclusion there. Season 18, scene 18, we're all going to the ball. Great. Scene 19, we're at the ball. Pointless tie scene. What was, I hated that. Yeah,
it's MacGyver.
Yeah, I guess. Who cares? Get in the party. You all have tickets. Somebody should have noticed that he didn't have a tie on. I mean, it's a black tie.
Also, when you buy the ticket, it probably says black tie.
Black tie required.
Or tie required or something like that.
Yeah. The gentleman will wear a coat and tie. That's usually what it says. I don't like Ethan, but Oren is funny. I have that. I don't know where.
Yeah, with the whole... Where's the tie I laid out for you?
No. The scene where he hands him the list. He's like, "This is the stuff you can't do." And
yes, I'll be honest. I've got a friend like that, and I've done that, and I thought that was very funny.
You thought that them handing in the list was funny? Because I thought Oren's response was funny.
Well, I thought the whole 10 seconds was the best part of the episode.
I just can't get a bearing on Ethan? Like, is he fun-loving and cool and has stuff to do, or is he like a curmudgeon about rules? And
because they haven't fleshed his character out. All they would have needed to do is
it's been 5.5 hours almost.
It's
or
like
4.5 hours.
yeah, it's like, look, y'all did this thing where you called him to ask about crimes. Okay, is he in law school? Tell us.
Yeah, just that'd be fine. Tell us he's in law school.
This is the thing. I'll tell you what probably happened. They probably got gruff or something for spelling every single thing out in different shows, like they did with Rings of Power. And they I say they, I know Rings of Power is not Disney, but they probably didn't want to spell every single thing out. So they forgot how to add enough context clues to make it clear. Asking a single person about crime is not enough for us to understand whether or not he's a lawyer.
I mean, I think that anything would have done better than this. Show him.
Yeah. Just say, hey, did you get your grade back on your thesis for law school?
Make him a graduate. Put him in the middle. Be like, oh, I'm just, I'm studying for the bar. I'm working at a firm.
Yeah.
Just throw him right in the middle and be like, I can't focus on this stuff right now, guys.
Exactly.
Isn't it time for you guys to grow up?
Would have worked great. Would have worked
great for his character and been like the begrudging one who's like, doesn't want to go and do this stuff. Like, hey, Jess, is this really the smartest thing to do? Like, this is kind of stupid, guys. Like, even if it is like, have him be the one that's like, if you weren't in a TV show, you guys would all be broke without paying your rent. You know what I mean? But whatever. I just don't like him. I didn't think that his handing in the note, I was like, why? First of all, dude, you're not in charge of anything here. Like, you're tagging along. You don't even have a role here. Why are you telling him what to do? Why are you stifling him? He's using this as what it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a networking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he succeeds. So it's like, well, piss off, Ethan. You were wrong.
Yeah, succeeds after colonialism on a plate.
Actually, that was before the speech. He was still allowed to enjoy.
I would like to figure out how shrimp is colonialism on a plate.
Yeah, what do I have? Crab legs. Yeah, we're not at crab legs yet, but I did think Oren is funny because he was like, well, this is all the stuff I came here precisely to do. Like, I was like, all right, that's funny. I didn't like that he was even trying to control him, and I was like, all right, that's funny. And then we're at scene 19. They're just not very good thieves. This is where I came in with that. I was like, I don't feel like any of them could pull these jobs off. They haven't spent a lot of time. They're just like improving their way through a script.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're here now, and now we're over here. Like, they should have a thief, like somebody who's like dangerous, somebody who can't get caught because he's on parole. You know what I mean? Like, I literally wrote, they all look like they can go and get a bank loan. Like, none of them look like this is what all they have in their lives. Like, this is my dream is to be rich with this money. Like, there's just no hunger there. Right? There's no like treasure hunting awesomeness. It just feels like they're all trying to get their thesis breakthrough. I don't know. Then we get the capitalism crab leg scene.
It still doesn't make sense to me. Which
I don't even disagree with. I'm like, yeah, it shouldn't have such lavishness. I don't agree with lavish elites. I don't think it's good on either side. Right? You know what I mean? I think that's common ground is that, well, they're all way too. They all have such a leg up on society that we're not even living in the same country.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I know what you
mean. Scene 21, the girls, I really like him, but then finds out that he didn't like golfing. He doesn't like golfing.
Yeah.
Such drama.
She's brokenhearted. She's devastated.
Well, she's brokenhearted that he's trying to fuck Jess. I mean, trying to
Jess. Yeah. True.
All I have for scene 22 is I like Oren. Like,
Oren's pitching. Yeah. And I spent the whole time thinking this guy's just gonna laugh in his face. And then he pulls it off, and I was like, hey, there you go.
I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, like I thought he was just gonna like basically like hand him his napkin and be like, yeah, dude, you're the waiter. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And he was going to be like, I hate these people. They don't even give me the time of day. But really, he was like, hey, good idea, good moxie. I like your, give me a call. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the American dream. He took the chance to talk to that guy.
Also, stupid little side thing. Hell of a handshake.
Yeah, good handshake on both of
Yeah,
them.
I was impressed.
Yeah, that was powerful handshake. I was saying that I was calling it now that Liam sings. I was wrong. I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling. I was like, I gotta make a distraction. Everybody look at me. The governor is fat and bald. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Scene 23, the dancing scene, which I actually, I'm
Yeah,
like
look,
theater.
this kind of endeared me. Endeared might be too strong of a word, but it kind of brought the I can't stand Jess and Ethan back to like a neutral level almost.
Yeah, it made more sense. Like, this should have been way earlier in the show.
Yeah, and then of course, nothing good comes of this. And I'm sitting the whole time thinking, first off, yeah, okay, this is kind of fixing my issue with the characters, but why are y'all doing this?
Why are you doing this?
Because you both clearly know the moves. So he knows that she's getting ready to shake her ass, touch him seductively, and his girlfriend is sitting right there.
She knows she's about to do all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's like both of y'all are supposed to be interested in two other people.
Other people, yeah.
And yet you're about to do something that's going to make everyone in the room know that y'all are interested in each other.
That, and it's going to ruin the plan.
Yeah.
Like, the whole plan, you're trying to find your dad's killer and clear your mom's name. Like, nah, I'm gonna dance to Lady Gaga.
Yeah, and okay, I need to figure out what her name is.
Tasha.
It's sitting there the whole time, the only one that knows what's getting ready to happen. Her reactions during the dance, not her reaction after it, where it's just kind of like, okay, well, that was obvious. But during the dance, kind of I won't say reset my opinion about her, but she got a good point because she's sitting there the whole time. Her eyes are like, oh boy, here it comes. And I was like, that's the exact same thing I'm thinking. Like, here it comes.
Yeah.
And it came.
I mean, yeah, she read the script, but it was just fine. I did write like the Ethan got a point in this because I realized he's a classical actor with his improv in the first episode with the thing and him being good at dancing. I was like, he's just playing a character that's just a milquetoast guy. I think this guy would be fine in different roles, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little.
Well, like I said, he looks a lot like the guy that plays Prince Jingham in Marco Polo.
Yeah, he does. They're good dancers. I was like, hey, this is good. I like musicals. I like musical theater. I think it's got a place in entertainment. I think it's impressive to see two disciplined people performing. So I liked it. I was actually like, okay, like I'm actually okay with just a dance scene. Not that this was the good place for a dance scene. They should have been in like the second episode or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or anything.
For people that are trying to stay hidden, dancing in front of the entire room is not the best place to do that.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to avoid notoriety. Like legit, like you're like, oh, okay, well, we can't be seen. It's like, well, we'll dance. I wrote Asian guy is about to be super cringe, which he was.
Yeah.
Escape. I didn't even have a scene count for this because it's just like the escape action scene.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At this point, I started looking at my phone and just listening, and I don't really remember how this happened. She just kind of realizes, like, I don't remember how she loses her shoes.
She slams him into the door to stop the guy from coming after her because she catches Ethan doing exactly what they all said that he should do.
And then we got Tasha doing the evil rich people speech.
Yeah. Which I wasn't like I disagree with you. I just don't know if you're going to go the extra distance of like being a total hypocrite and being like, yeah, so vote Biden. It's like, okay, well, he's literally one of the richest guys ever to go into politics. So it's like but they didn't do that. They were like, it's more about the universal messaging of like this, like it's too pompous. Like you're here, you're. I'm not even saying people don't earn their wealth. I'm just saying like I can agree that like this is a waste of resources. It's like this level of pompousness.
Well, and then the using the same tone as some of the other protests we've seen with the hey ho ho. It's like,
yeah, well, that one's easy. They teach that in at the orientation for college now.
Yeah. And then we've got Jess running away, and the police are everywhere. And Billy pulls up in her Alfa Romeo, which shockingly goes further than 20 feet without breaking down.
Oh, dig.
And that's it.
That's it. So it's Catherine Zeta-Jones to save the day. Come with me if you want to live.
Mm-hmm. Looking pretty good in a very nice red dress.
Which one?
Oh, sorry. They pulled up in a Jaguar, not an Alpha.
I didn't want to correct you because I didn't want to.
Yeah,
it again,
the problem is that because Jaguars moved away from their hood ornaments, at first look, the Alpha and the new Jag symbol just kind of look familiar because they're both circles.
I miss those old hood ornaments.
Yeah, you blame the EU. Okay, and that's episode 5. I think we said at the beginning, but I think I'd rate this a 3, maybe a 4, because of the dance.
Yeah, I gave it a 4. Probably a 3.5. I thought this heist was way worse than the Graceland one.
Yeah,
they all had a role and there was some actual tension there.
This just kind of felt like it fell in their lap.
Yeah, I mean, it was really lucky that it was just like a stupid little code to get into that journal.
Yeah.
I was like, I really would have even preferred like just a smash and grab,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's our. I don't know. Do you want to do a final thoughts on that episode? I just thought it was so meh.
It was there. I don't really have extra thoughts on it. I'm surprised this was an hour.
Hated the mole reveal. Hated that. I thought that was like the one bit of good drama that they could have actually milked into an entire episode is like figuring out who the mole is. Like, Nope, it was a shoe. It was a shoe. That
we find out halfway through the show.
Halfway through, and you're like, okay, there goes all the tension. Now we know Liam's not bad.
There's not going to be any more. Hey, who do you think the mole is?
Yeah,
you think we'll find out this week?
What if Liam had run off with the book and we still didn't know who the mole was? Wouldn't that wouldn't that be pretty good evidence? Like, so bad. Thank you guys for listening to our National Treasure Edge of History Episode 5 review. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you let us know what you think of Caleb's mistakes today. None of mine. And we appreciate you guys listening out. Any closing thoughts, Caleb?
Just follow us on Twitter at KingsAdvisors _.